What's up you guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. You guys know how much I love testing new art supplies and especially new alcohol-based markers. And recently there were a few very exciting launches of new alcohol-based markers from some indie brands. And besides the very popular Ohuhu new brush tip markers, which by the way, if you guys want me to review them, let me know in the comments. I will be glad to order them and test them out for you. There was also a release from one of my favorite art brands, Arteza, and they came out with their new Everblend art markers. And they were so kind to send them out to me so I can review and test them for you guys. So I'm super curious to see how those markers are gonna perform on the paper and if they are gonna live up to my quite high marker expectations. So well, that's pretty much what we're gonna be doing today, and if you guys are excited to see what's the tea on those new Arteza Everblend markers, then make sure you stay with me and keep on watching. So this is how the packaging of the markers looks. They come in this kind of satchel. I have no clue how to call it properly, but it's very sturdy and neatly done. As you can see, it has those kind of clips as the openings, so if you want to take this with you, your markers for sure gonna be secure. The pack consists of 60 pieces and they are divided into 5 compartments in the shade order, which, can we just agree how satisfying that looks? All of those compartments have special elastic bands that hold each marker. Let's take one of them out. The marker is triangular shaped with a color indication on the cap on both ends of the marker. Once we open it up, there is a chisel tip on one end and a bullet tip on another. One thing I noticed right off the bat is that even though the idea of those elastic bands holding each marker is really awesome, the problem is that it's quite tricky to slide the marker back into its place. It took me a good while to figure out the best angle to place the marker into its elastic band, and that in the long run might be a little bit annoying. But well, alright, now let's move on to the swatches. So here are the swatches of all the 60 shades that are included in the set, and right off the bat I can tell that I like the shade range a lot, but for me personally it's really important to have a lot of skin tones, skin shades included in the set, and here as you can tell we don't have that many to choose from. We obviously do have a light skin tone shade, and maybe even this peach color could work. We do have 2 brown shades that are quite okay, but there are no mid-tones. Nothing like caramel or a little bit more tanned shade than this one. So I need to admit that I'm quite disappointed with that. And again, for me personally, I would love to exchange some of these green tones that I rarely use, or even some of those blue shades or some of the red shades that are all in fact quite nice, but instead of those I would love to have some brownish like shade that would fit every skin tone. So since we're doing a marker review, I'm starting off with already made sketch. I thought that it would be a good test for the markers if I try to come up with different skin tones with the amount of shades that I have in the set. So that's why today I'm gonna be drawing 2 girls with 2 different skin colors. So as for my first impressions, once I applied the first layer of color, the markers felt pretty good. They allow you to apply the color evenly and smoothly on the surface. The chisel tip felt quite nice, but the bullet tip was a little bit too stiff and harsh for my taste. Especially when the marker doesn't have a brush nib, the chisel and bullet nib should be good enough to make up for that. But well, despite the lack of the brush nib, I could still achieve quite a good blending. And honestly, I was really happy with how the skin came out on the girl on the left, but once I started coloring in the girl on the right, I had a little bit of troubles. Like I suspected, the colors provided in the set weren't the perfect ones for a caramel complexion. The first color I applied was apricot, but it was a little bit too peachy for my taste. So then I wanted to try to balance that with a bit more yellowish shade, and I added yellow ochre on top, and well, it turned out to be even more orangey looking than before. So it definitely wasn't the shade that I was going for her complexion, but I thought that with some shading and a little bit more of blending and adding some other colors around it, it might still look okay. So then I just went ahead and colored everything else. And this is what the drawing looks like colored with the markers only. I wanted to show it to you at this stage before I shade it in with colored pencils, like I always do, so you have a clear look on what kind of blending and shading I was able to achieve with the Arteza markers. And honestly, I think it looks pretty good so far. So now to add some depth and definition into my drawing, I'm taking out my colored pencils and I'm just gonna shade the drawing until the point that I'm gonna be satisfied with it. And once I'm done with that, I'm gonna share with you my thoughts and opinions on the Arteza Everblend markers. Okay, so now let me give you my final thoughts on the Arteza Everblend art markers. Before you buy them, I think you need to consider two most important things. First of them is the fact that they don't have a brush tip. And if the brush tip is something that you're looking for, then obviously these might not be the best option for you. As the second thing I need to mention is the color scheme. If you don't mind having those few skin tone shades, but you're more into having a full spectrum of greens, blues and reds, then those markers are definitely for you. But if you're someone that prefers to have a wide range of skin tone shades, then I don't think that these are the best pick for you. And last factor, the price. I think that these markers are extremely cheap for the quality that they are offering, and also adding the fact that they come in this very sturdy, travel-friendly box, I think this is a huge advantage for people that like to take their markers on the go with them. So well, this is my opinion on those Arteza Everblend art markers. I'm for sure gonna add them to my collection, even though the color range is not the best for me. They are still doing a very good job. So well, that'll be pretty much all for my today's review. And guys, don't forget to check the links in my description box, because I'm having a 10% off for you for your marker purchase, so make sure you check that out. And well, thank you so much for watching. I love you all and I can't wait to see you in my next videos. Take care guys, bye!
I'm just going with the gut, never had a doubt, felt like this is just a must. Put me in perspective, I'm the deepest in the cut. Everybody tuning in, but this is just for us now.